My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the IRS. Welcome to my YouTube video, the home of the 5-minute or less video. I don't like to bore people. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. I've been doing this for 50 years. Our firm is staffed with former IRS agents at every level, and we are national and affordable experts. By the way, we are available for representation. Today, I want to go ahead and talk to you do-it-yourselfers who want to file your own offer and compromise. By the way, as a former revenue officer, I work the offer program. I'm one of the people that accepted and denied offers, and actually, I was able to teach other revenue officers more on a regional basis what to look for in your offer and compromise. So you want to pay particular attention. By the way, if you have a small offer, no reason to do this yourself. If it's a large offer, you have absolutely no business. You have absolutely no business doing yourself. You're over 50, 60, 70,000, don't even bother wasting your time. There are so many minute details to the thing. There are certain tricks and things that we know, but I'm going to try to at least tell you a couple basic things if you don't have the money and you want to file your own offer. There's two things. There's three things. First of all, you have to file all your tax returns and you have to be current. If you're not current, IRS isn't going to work your offer. What does that mean by current? You must be current in the year we're in with all filings, estimate payments, or withholding. IRS will not work the offer unless all tax returns are filed, you have your withholding up to date, and you have all ES payments. That's rule number one. Rule number two, or I'm just going to go over a bunch of crap with you. Make sure you fill out your 656 correctly. Have someone else review it. Make sure everything's filled out. You include all the periods on the 656. The third thing is you want to make sure your 433A OIC is completed. If there's areas that you haven't written something in, you have to write none or not applicable. IRS must have that completed financial statement. That financial statement is a pain in the ass. They must at least go ahead and must have 100 questions on it. You know, when I worked at IRS, the thing was a couple pages. By the time in about 10 years, that thing is going to be 20 pages. It just kills you, but you got to answer all the questions. Every single question that's there, you have to go ahead and answer. But these are the two things IRS values the most. Listen to me very carefully. IRS wants to know basically what they're going to put their microscope on is your assets, and they're going to put their microscope on your income and expenses. So let me tell you the two biggest tips that I can give you about that. When you are putting your assets down on the form, use the lowest value or the strength value that you can. If your car you think is worth $10,000, look it up. If the wholesale value is $7,000, you'll want to use the lowest figure. Remember, IRS is not going to accept the offer, any less than your total liquidity. So if you have $1,000 and $100,000 in total liquidity, including your home equity, a pension, whatever, maybe surrender value, anything in cars. If you have $100,000 in liquidity value, by the way, your home is discounted 20%. IRS is not going to accept any less than $100,000. So if you have the money to pay the tax, you're just trying to negotiate something lower. That does not work. IRS wants to know what your liquidity is, and that's the base for the offer and compromise. So you want to use the lowest value base for your offer possible. Let's make sure you got that's a good example really on a car. Look up wholesale values. If you have a home, you'll want to drive your home down as low as you can. Do not put retail values down. All you're doing is you're adding to it. So if your home is worth, say, $100,000 and it needs repairs, maybe the home's only worth $85,000. Your idea is to drive the asset value down. The other thing that you have to know about is the national standard expense. IRS is going to look at your income. They're going to look at your expenses, and they have their own expenses they're going to allow for you. If you do not know what the National Standard Expense Table is, don't even bother filling in your offer, because you just extended you're going to get your offer rejected, and you just extended your offer a year plus. So remember, IRS is only going to allow you a certain amount of expenses. Know this. There's IRS national standards for, look them up, put in your toolbar, IRS national standard for food and clothing. Put in your toolbar, IRS, okay, national expense for housing and utilities. You'll pull up your state, you look up your county, and then you look at how many people in your family. The IRS national standard for car payments. It's on there. IRS national standard for operation of car. IRS is going to lock you down into those 4 areas. If you have any money left over, all you do is keep increasing your offer and compromise. Those are the most 2 things that you need to know. What's IRS looking at? Boom. They're only looking at assets, and they're looking at income. They're looking at taking as much money as you can. It is worth it to pay a professional if you owe a lot more money. They're the only ones really that know the system well enough to get this offer pushed through. So just so you know, by the way, we're available for representation, consultations. Ask us a question. By the way, one last thing. If you are going to hire a professional, do not give them any money until they reviewed your financial statement, okay? So good luck. Remember, have somebody go ahead in your family review your paperwork before you send it in. And by the way, the average time to get your offer and compromise through now is at least a year. The last 4 we got accepted in a row, 12, 13, and 2 at 14 months. Have a good one. I need subscriptions. If you leave me a subscription, I'd love you. Leave me a comment. I'd love you. If you want me to do a YouTube on something else, I'll love you more. Thank you. By the way, my information is in the description section. And, don't forget, I love the subscriptions. Thank you.